Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the 26th of January 2022. Not a bad show overall. Better show than they've been doing somewhat recently. TNT Championship participants already in the ring when they start the show. Not necessarily a fan of this, but I understand why they're trying to jumpstart. Anyway, Sami Guivar defeats Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson to become the undisputed TNT champion. Both championship belts are above the ring on ladders. They shake hands to start. Neither man really gets an early advantage, and they keep the action inside the ring. Both men go for signature moves, but their opponent had them scouted. Guivar rolls to the floor, grabs the ladder. Cody takes him out with a forearm. Cody then makes his way up the ramp, picks up the bigger ladder, and bridging it between the ring and the barricade. Guevara then surprises Cody with a pump kick and sends him into the barricade. They fight around the ring. Guevara hits a cutter on the floor, picking up another ladder, brings it into the ring. Cody then tries to lead, their strikes leads to a double down. They both climb the ladder. It wasn't set up where anyone could reach the championships. Cody superplexed Guevara all the way to the mat in a cool spot, leading to a commercial. Cody suplexed Guivar between the inverted ladder, which looked hugely painful. Then he gets locked Guivar in the figure four around the rungs of the ladder, which didn't look like fun either. Cody continues to beat down Guevara with overhand chops, but Guevara fires up and starts to come back with clotheslines. He then goes for a springboard, but Cody tossed a ladder into his face. Cody then climbed the ladder, but Guevara climbed his own ladder and jumped towards Cody, taking him all the way down with a cutter in an awesome spot, which is pretty cool looking. Guevara then trapped Cody into the ladder, climbed, but Cody powers out and sends Guevara crashing over the ropes. Then they fight on separate ladders. Cody hits a crossroads on the mat. Cody climbed and almost reached the belts, but Guevara cuts him off, and they both hang from the structure before losing grip and falling off onto the canvas. Out on the floor, Cody traps Guevara's leg between the ladder, but Fuego del Sol runs out to take care of him. Cody lands a straight pile driver on Fuego, but Guevara takes over. Cody comes out with a springboard into a Fosbury flop, GTH on the floor, and then Guevara places Cody on the ladder and then has a bridge on the floor earlier, setting up the standing ladder adjacent, and climbs to the very top and hits a senton bomb onto Cody, which is just an insane move. Back in the ring, Guevara climbs the ladder, but met on the top by Cody, and they trade forearms until Guevara used the belt to send Cody crashing down. Guevara then takes the belts down to win. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are with Tony Schiavone on the beach. The beach is covered in snow. Hobbs challenged Dante Martin to a match, and Starks did the same to Jay Lethal for the FTW Championship. 2-on-1 handicap match. Wardlow with Sean Spears defeats Elijah Dean and Jake Alexander. Cleveland is the hometown of Wardlow, and he's a major star. He gets rid of both opponents quickly with power bombs. Wardlow hits 5 power bombs in total, with the last one landing the opponents on top of each other. This is fine to build up Wardlow. Anyway, Inner Circle Jericho. Santana Ortiz defeats Garcia 2.0, Lee and Parker. I don't like any of this. Anyway, Inner Circle controlled the match early. Dysfunction between Jericho and partners. Maybe they're splitting off. That could be good for at least Santana Ortiz. Garcia and company take advantage. They beat on Ortiz through the commercial. Jericho wants the hot tag, but Ortiz tags Santana. Santana goes nuts on all 3 opponents, and he and Ortiz hit the assisted cutter toward a powerbomb lariat combination. Jericho hopped down from the apron and takes himself out of the match, but breaks up the 2.0 finisher, hits the Judas effect on Lee. Pile driver from Santana follows for the win. Video promo from Lance Archer, Jake Roberts addressing Hangman Page. Their world title match will be a Texas death match. That's upcoming. Jurassic Express and Hardy Family Office are backstage. They will defend the tag team titles against Private Party and Rampage. Why? Just why? Christian said everyone was coming for the champions, and Hardy said on Friday Private Party would be the champions. Really hope that's not the case. CM Punk and MJF promo, one of the better segments. Punk said that he's here to fight, dressed in ring gear. Crowd chants MJF before unzipping his jacket to show that he's wearing MJF's scarf. He said he's sick of talking. He needs MJF in the ring. MJF comes out and he won't fight even though Punk's gone through the entire Pinnacle. MJF, then his music plays and he comes out. He mocks the crowd as if he's going to wrestle Punk before insulting Cleveland. He then says he'd give Punk his match in Chicago after MJF beats him. They'll see the real Punk, the one who loses his smile and doesn't get what he wants and blames his failures on everyone else like LeBron James. Punk no-showed in Cleveland in 2014 when he left WWE. When MJF beat Punk, he's going to cry about it on a podcast. Punk responds, "The best thing I ever did was leave, and then the best thing I ever did was come back. Punk demands a match right now. These people love me because I get back up and fight," he says. MJF brings out FTR and Wardlow, but Punk is taken out from behind by spears. They all beat Punk down and whack him with a chair. Wardlow didn't get involved until MJF demanded he powerbomb Punk. Wardlow did so on the chair, and MJF sat on top of Punk and said he'd see him in Chicago. The Acclaimed call out Jon Moxley on Friday. Anthony Bowens will face him in a match, which isn't a bad thing for Bowens. Good for him. Griff Garrison, Julia Hart are backstage. Hart talks about the House of Black, but Mark Sterling shows up and makes her sign a waiver before the TBS Championship match against Jade Cargill on Rampage. Laila Hirsch defeats Red Velvet. Just ugly match. Anyway, they fight at the bell. Velvet takes Hirsch down, dropkick, and goes for the final slice, but Hirsch rolls the floor, beats Velvet down. Velvet regains control with a knee and cutter over the ropes, then goes for triangle hold. Hirsch power bombs and powers out into a buckle bomb, targets Velvet's shoulder through a break, and then once back, Hirsch then hits a springboard stunner. To try to come back, she follows it up with a double knees to Hirsch's back. Spear from Velvet gets 2 count. Hirsch then counters into the final slice and then hits a powerbomb knee strike. The knee strike thinks she hasn't won. Hirsch then transitioned into another armbar, allowing Velvet to reach the ropes for the break. Then they had an awkward cradle exchange, and Hirsch rolls Velvet up in tights for the win. After the match, Hirsch then slapped an armbar, leading Chris Statlander running off. Malachi Black cuts a video promo. He says he and Brody King embodied conflict and violence. King said Pac would be humbled by Death Triangle, would feel true pain. He said death is inevitable. New TMT champion Sami Guivar does his cue card deal during the commercial break. Britt Baker promo featuring 2021 awards from PWI. Baker comes out in full Pittsburgh get up, mocking the Cleveland fans. Talks about her awards and insulted the Browns. She said she created the women's division and became the face of AEW. Baker insults another Browns quarterback, Baker Mayfield. And then she said she won't settle until she's female of the decade. Rampage, Jon Moxley, Anthony Bowens, FTR, Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, TBS Championship, Jade Cargill and Julia Hart, and Jungle Boy Luchasaurus versus Private Party. The main event's the only thing I really don't care about on that. AEW Dynamite for February 2nd. Punk and MJF, House of Black, and which is Malachi Black, Brody King defeating or going against Death Triangle, Pac and Penta. Anyway, Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero come out. Rose said she'd be champion if not for Ruby Soho. Next week she wants her in a match. And the main event, unsanctioned lights out match. Orange Cassidy defeats Adam Cole. Fun brawl, but it's not at the level of the other lights out matches they've had in AEW. Trading punches, and then they go to the floor. Orange sends Cassidy into the barricade, hits hands and pockets, shotgun dropkick. Cole returns the favor and goes under the ring and comes up with a chair. Indy start Danhausen comes out. Orange takes control of the DDT. This is cool enough. Hopefully they have a alliance between them at some point. Both men are perplexed, allowing Cole to hit a pump kick through the chair. Cole then wants Panama Sunrise, but Orange countered, put Cole through the timekeeper's table with a spine buster, and then manages to hit everything together, and then Orange then comes up and manages to go at it on a continual basis. And then we go to Orange coming back at things, and ultimately Orange's right hand goes through, hits the. We go through the commercial. Jockey for position, Chain leading, Cole hitting the Uranashi for 2 count. Then tries to put Orange through the chairs. Orange counters with a stunner, hits a Michinoku driver through the chairs for a near fall. Orange hand is bloody in the process. Orange goes on to super kick. Cole calls for a backdrop. Brandon Cutler runs out and then he's taken out by Wheeler Yuta. Bobby Fish takes out Yuta. Chuck Taylor dispatches Fish. And then the Bucks nail Chuck with double super kicks. Why are they stealing from this match? Oh yeah, we've got to get our stuff in. Super click lined Orange up for the triple super kick. Roppongi Vice stopped them. Then Orange hits the beach break and Orange punch, but didn't cover due to the plan. Cole hits a low blow on Orange. Orange is wearing a cup with thumbtacks pointed out of it. Orange then hits Panama Sunrise for a near fall, wraps the chain around his hand. Cole escapes, and Cole retreated into the backstage area, used Jerry Lynn as interference, and put Orange through the go position table where Jerry Lynn and Tony Khan are seated. Back on the stage, Cole lands another super kick. He wants to lower the boom, but Orange hits a super kick of his own and calls the chain-assisted Orange punch. Cole countered strike from the stage light, and then Cole climbs up the staging in front of the video board, but Orange pushes him off the top, hits a low blow. Orange hugged Cole and sends him crashing through the stage for the win. A match doesn't count against the win-loss records of either guy because, well, hey, that's just the way it is, and that's where we go. And we'll be back with more right after this.